Hey there everybody, this is Brenden with Common Motor. It's common-motor.com on the internet, and today we're going to be talking about batteries and battery choices for your vintage Honda motorcycle. Stay tuned. One of the questions we get most of around here at Common Motor is about battery choice and selections for your bike. Now we have a bunch of different batteries here in front of me. I'm going to go through them and explain the pros and cons of each to help you make a decision what's best for your motorcycle. And we're also going to share what we like and prefer to use with our bikes based on our experience. The first and most common battery you're going to run across for your bike is a lead acid battery. Now this is the old school tech that's been around for years and years and years, and they're still available. They're cheap, they're plentiful, they work, but they're definitely not the best quality out there. And there is a range between the super cheap ones and better quality ones. They all kind of work the same way. Now it is a bunch of lead plates filled with water and sulfuric acid, which makes a chemical reaction. What's important in one of these is as soon as you activate one, you got to charge it up on a good charge to give it an initial charge for 24 hours or so. You fill it up with acid, and you throw it in the bike and start to use it. It never quite takes a good set to it, and they can fall off quickly. Now, if you're riding your bike on a daily basis and you're keeping this on a trickle charger, yeah, these batteries will last you a good bit of time, year and a half, 2 years or so. If you're not using your bike on a regular basis and you leave it parked for weeks at a time, these are going to start to fail and fall off. Again, they work, they're okay, but there's definitely a lot better options out there as technology has evolved in batteries. So keep this in mind, but if you're on a budget, this will be the way to go. The next most common type of battery that you're going to find for the bike is an AGM battery, and that's what this is. AGM stands for absorbed glass mat. It is definitely the evolution of what a lead acid battery was. That means that you can't spill them. The electrolyte doesn't evaporate off or spill off or have to be refilled. It's a sealed deal. It also means they hold their shelf life longer, and they hold life longer while they're parked on the bike, so they don't discharge as fast. They also tend to last longer as far as the lifespan of the bike. They are more expensive up front, but they also are usually better quality and they last longer. So it's something you're investing for down the road. You want to keep it in the bike. AGM battery is a good choice. I have a couple of types here. This one happens to be a Motobat. This is one of the ones that we recommend, the brand for the bikes we choose. We have a video about their batteries and all their accessories later on, but our own personal choice here at Common Motor. Here's another example of it to show you that OEMs are actually starting to use these in their bikes. I actually have an original Harley-Davidson brand AGM battery here, just to show that point. This came a factory battery in a Harley right there. There's the logo. But it is an AGM battery nonetheless. This is a slightly different type of AGM battery. Sometimes they're referred to as an SLA battery or sealed lead acid, but it's basically the same thing. Now, I run this type of battery in my bike. I've been running it for years just because that's how I kind of built my bike out. This is the type of battery you might find in a security system or like in a power wheelchair. These type of batteries. They're also available on the market, but they do have like smaller terminals, so you have to make sure you mod for that. But they work and they're actually relatively inexpensive. If you're gonna go this route, I highly recommend buying a brand name, not mystery brand, like whatever this is. So you may have noticed that we are missing a battery from our selection here, and that is lithium ion batteries. Lithium ion batteries are fairly modern, and they're the latest in technology of batteries. And they're really, really great, especially if you're gonna be using them on a modern bike with a modern charging system. However, we have found on the old vintage Hondas that they don't always work so well. Part of that has to do with the primitive nature of the Honda charging system. Now, that system was designed for the old school lead acid batteries. A lot of lithium ion batteries want very specific charging voltages, and it has a very narrow window of charging that the system may or may not be able to hit in charging the batteries. So you see a lot of failure in it. It's kind of a gamble. Now, some bikes can handle it, some bikes can't, but overall, I really don't recommend them. They're very expensive. They may or may not work for your bike, and in the end, they still perform the same exact way as a less expensive battery. We know that lithium-ion batteries have become popular for the vintage bikes, and one of the reasons is because they are smaller in size and lighter in weight than, a big old full-size battery, and people want to modify, battery boxes, seats, etc., to build a custom bike. That's okay, What I'm saying is there are options for other types of batteries that work better that are also small, like the Motobat battery we have right here. This is a fairly small AGM battery that you can build a custom battery box around. It's compact and light, and it's still going to work well with the charging system as opposed to the lithium ion battery, and it is significantly less expensive. So there are two other elements to consider in this whole battery charging equation. The first one is the charging system of the bike. And for the vintage Hondas that we support, they're kind of weak and anemic. That's why we have a modernized combination regulator and rectifier for the charging system. It's a very high failure point on all the bikes, and we find by updating it, you get a lot more charging efficiency and it solves a lot of charging problems. But it is a two-part equation where you have to have a good battery that's charged up and maintaining a good charge, and then you have to have the components in the system that are able to charge the battery while the bike's running, because the reality about the charging systems on the old Hondas is they're kind of anemic and weak to begin with. The other piece of the equation is having a good battery charger, an AGM specific battery charger if you're running an AGM battery. While battery technology has updated, charger technology has updated as well. And AGM batteries charge at different rates than the old school lead acid batteries. So if you're attempting to charge an AGM battery with an old school lead acid charger, you're probably going to hurt or damage the battery. We see it happen a lot. So if your charger is like that, one of those 40-year-old things from the garage sale, it's great for the car, an old school lead acid battery, but it's not going to work on an AGM battery. So make sure you pick up an AGM specific charger for your bike. This one happens to be the Motobat brand ones that we sell for the Motobat batteries, but anyone that's an AGM specific charger will work. And also it's a trickle charger, so we're going to keep it on the battery when the bike's parked, so we keep the battery topped off when you're ready to use it. Regardless of the type of battery you go with, there's something very important to keep in mind. No, a battery is not an electrical power generator. It is an electron gas tank. And you have to think about it just like the fuel tank on the bike. It depletes and it fills up. It depletes and it fills up. Now the charging system on the bike is there to help fill it up, but also that's where you have an accessory outside charger to help keep it topped off. Just like your laptop, your cell phone, or any other device that uses a rechargeable battery, it is the other part of the equation. I hope this video was helpful for you all to understand what your battery options are for your vintage Honda. This is Brenden here with Common Motor, common-motor.com on the internet. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to our newsletter via our website, and of course, subscribe to us right here down below on this YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.